All right, we're going there. And here we go. Hey, what's going on? Hello, YouTube. Hello, podcast. Rich the Architect here again. And how's everybody doing? Oop, I forgot. I'm on video now. I'll take that hat off. My hair's a mess. Yeah, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Yada yada yada. I'm actually recording on the last day of March 2021. And hope everybody had a first quarter of the year. And now we move into the spring. It's funny, just on a little quick personal note, it's been the first winter in a very long time where I'm kind of like usually every summer I'm like, oh man, the summer's over, the warm, whatever. We're going to be moving into colder weather, actually every summer at the end of the year, or I'm sorry, at the end of the summer, we take a vacation down to the Jersey Shore for a week. So it's always like, the kids go back to school and stuff, but oh man, enjoy that time, whatever. But this year with the winter, for some reason, I could go for another winter. Not another winter, but like probably another 2 to 4 weeks of winter would be fine by me. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm kind of thinking maybe like this past winter, my oldest and I, we went skiing. Like it was the first time I went skiing in about 30 years. So maybe, and I was actually talking about maybe going a second time. So maybe I think that might have to do a little bit with it. That I didn't get that second time to go out and do that. But of course, there's always next winter to do that. And so that's probably what we'll plan on doing. But yeah, I usually this time of year, I'm like, I can't wait for the spring. I don't know, maybe it also has to do with, this is 2021. When I'm recording this, a year ago, around this time was when all the lockdowns and all that stuff started, which here we are a year later and we're still kind of dealing with it. We're still dealing with it. And, so that may have a little bit to do with it as well. So anyway, yeah, so hopefully everybody's, going to start enjoying the better weather, get out there and breathe some fresh air, all that stuff. So, so today, just want to jump into, I believe I've, talked about this before. I'm in a kind of local accountability group. It's called the Harvest, and I typically will record podcasts here on Wednesday mornings, but I start my Wednesdays very early with the Harvest group. We have a weekly call for about an hour and a half every Wednesday. So today the topic came up of every month there's kind of like an overall topic. So like this past month we were talking about social media, but the topic of imposter syndrome came up today. So if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, first, I have it actually up here on my screen. Basically, I'll just read the definition straight from here. Imposter syndrome is loosely defined as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. It disproportionately affects high-achieving people who find it difficult to accept their accomplishments. Many question whether they're deserving of accolades. Now, in the conversation we were having in this group, this topic came up in terms of, there, some people in the group who are like, oh, I need to, again, the overall kind of monthly topic was social media. So the discussions a lot become like, people who are, I need to post more on social media, this and that, and some of them, some of the kind of overarching concepts of why some people may not post is like, I think, and they're pretty typical. It's like, oh well, I want it to be perfect. I don't think anybody's gonna watch it. It's almost like they're saying no beforehand. Um, so in this case, the imposter syndrome came in terms of the, like the kind of, saying no before you even post it, but, kind of also really being about like, well, who's going to really who's going to care or watch this anyway? The interesting thing about this, and I've experienced this myself, is that you never know what is going to come from whatever you're posting. Like, for example, this podcast, I tell people, I'm like, hey, I've actually gotten work. Like, I've gotten projects from doing this podcast. And, and I believe I've said it even before, I've had one particular project I got. Guy calls me up and he says, hey, I've seen you post about your podcast. He's like, I don't listen to it, but I have a project. It's a reminder that you were a local architect, and I have a project for you. So yeah. So I'm not of the type to necessarily think that does this need to I want it to be perfect or not. Now I will say that since I think I've been doing this 2 years. No, you know what? I think it's been 3 years. I started doing this about 3 years ago, and the first 2 years of this or so, it's been a little inconsistent. But yeah, I believe episode 1 or episode 0, whatever I called it, was like 3 years ago. I do remember I was in my my old office, and I moved the office I'm in right now. I moved here around about March of 2019. So, oh, okay, good. I switched screens, and I was afraid that I wasn't recording this at all. At least on the audio side, I can see the video is recording. But yeah, so been doing this for about 3 years, and like I said, it's definitely been there's things that that I didn't expect from it that have come forward, and from when I first started doing this, and what was I going to get at? Oh yeah, so the one thing though from doing this for this period of time is that I've realized that it's almost like I have a baseline now, right? So I know in terms of posting or whatever that you just got to get some stuff out there. But then the flip side of it is like, okay, I'm getting stuff out there, but now I got to take it like, okay, so if there's a certain level of that, I'm past that point. Like I don't like it doesn't bug me to or I'm not overthinking things in terms of getting out there. I'm like, I know I have to get something out there, so sometimes I might just put something out there, whether it's personal or business. But but now that it's there, it's almost just like, okay, well, there needs to be a little bit of quality or themes maybe is something I'm been thinking about recently. I do think that, like last week, I had a guest on. I had Lisa on, and my wife was on, I believe, 2 weeks prior to that. So I want to keep that going. And I have actually probably 2 more people, not lined up on a hard date, but 2 people who are interested in jumping on here with me. So, and I definitely have, I have a network of people who probably, if I ask, there'd be a number of people who would come on. So but when it comes to some of that social media stuff and all of that, I feel like there needs to be like another level now that I have to provide. I don't know if have, but that I should provide, I guess. I don't know. Let's say have. Screw it. Let's say have. I have to provide it. better quality. It's been in my head for a bit. So, yeah, but to get back to kind of this imposter syndrome. Ooh, I want to keep this there. There we go. Sorry, if you're listening on the audio, I'm just looking at my video, and I want to make sure that the microphone is off the screen, because would be right in front of it. So anyway, imposter syndrome. Yeah. So that's the thing. You know, like I said, the discussion was more about, like, you know, holding people back, preventing people from kind of moving forward with certain things that they want to do, but they're kind of, you know, overthinking it. And I mean, there's examples of it that, you know, other people that are in the group who've gone forward and done it, and, you know, they're very successful. Heck, there's one guy in there who is, you know, does videos of him doing walks, and he's got believe he has like a local newscaster who's gonna like walk with him for one, you know. So it's like one of those things. Again, you don't know where it'll take you, but the but yeah, but you know, to go back to this imposter syndrome thing, it's funny with the business. I always feel like over the years, like I'm not where I should be, and I think, you know, definitely, you know, kind of thinking there's probably some issues that I need to do to get to that point, or there's things I need to do. You know, I have a, you know, in terms of growth and all of that, you know, heck, you know, I'm even like looking at this podcast. It's like I'm kind of like considering, you know, it's not like a huge following, but I feel like if I start upping the production quality of it, or you know, like the video, you know, if you're watching this video, because I'm just sitting at my desk in my office. It's nothing fancy, but there's, you know, a few little steps I know that I can take to up that, and I think, you know, I forget what episode it was, but, you know, I was talking about, like, you know, essentially the idea of, like, you know, the laws of attraction, is setting things up where attracts people. So, you know, it's like one of these things where you don't necessarily need to be selling. You just do what you do, and then, you know, it's like you build a people will come type idea. So the what was I going to say? Because I want to try to stay on this imposter syndrome thing today. You know, the idea of, like, you know, where I'm at or where I want to be is definitely not, you know, again, I don't feel like I'm where I need to be. I don't feel like I'm 100% feel I can accomplish it. So I guess, but I'm also 100% know that the reason why I'm not where I want to be is because of me, if that makes sense. You know, I think on, you know, you can always be improving, and what I think that for me, that's been happening in the more recent past, to be quite honest, is I've probably been paying attention to others, not in terms of like just like just being like on social media and being like, oh, that person's doing this person's doing that. It's almost like, you know, I guess jealousy in a way, or but it's also like, well, why am I paying attention to so and so accomplishing this and that? You know, when I'm, you know, it's like that whole idea of, like, if you're looking over your shoulder, you don't know what's coming for, you know, I'm totally butchering this, but, you know, if you keep looking back, you're never going to be able to move forward, that type of thing. You know, so if I'm looking at, you know, so and so, I'm not doing what I need to do. The great thing is Devin Denofa, who runs the Harvest, he had a line a few weeks ago. He was talking about a few years back. I live in the Philadelphia region. When the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was like, and it's funny because when he kind of what he was talking about, it hit home with me too, because it was like they finally won a Super Bowl, right? And it's like, you almost want to be like, you want to win another one, right? Well, the funny thing about that is, I didn't win a Super Bowl, you know, the owner and coach and everybody, the organization, the Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl. I was a fan of it, and that was great. But then it was like, okay, I experienced that. Now what? To be quite honest, do I still watch Eagles games? Yes, but I don't watch them the same way anymore. So, but one of the things that Devin said, and I'd love to actually, now I'm talking about, I'd love to have Devin on at some point, but he's like, okay, and he's I believe he grew up in like South Philadelphia, so he's like kind of in the shadow of where the Eagles play and everything. And that he's like, okay, he won a championship, but he's like, but I need to win my own championships. And I was like, that's a great line, and it's, I want to win my own championships now. So, man, I am like way off. Like my mind is like all kinds of places right now. But yeah, so for me, it's like, I'm not, looking at other people doing this, doing that is not really like it's taken me. It's actually time that I'm spending looking at what somebody else is doing, when here's my stuff right here that I have to do, and it's So I feel like, I guess for me, that term imposter syndrome feels like almost like, well, am I don't feel like if I just go back to it. Yeah, no, you know what? It is feeling like a fraud, because I think sometimes it's like, well, am I doing enough? And I don't feel like I'm doing enough. There's a lot of people actually who come to me and they're like, how do you do so much stuff? And I'm sitting here being like, half the time I don't feel like I'm doing enough I feel like the days are over and I'm like, I didn't even get anywhere where I wanted to be, So it's that's interesting too, for the other fact. I'm like, because I feel like I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, but then there are people who come to me and say, holy crap, you're doing so much. I can't believe it. How do you do it? And it's just like, that's kind of like a moment where I just was like, oh, I didn't realize that. But still, at the same time, I still want to grow. I still want to do this. I still want to do that. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm hoping, I'm kind of just talking out loud today. And I wasn't planning on making this that huge long episode today or anything. So, but yeah, no, it was just a thought that I had, or just a thought that I've been having a lot of recently. I have been having a lot of there's been a lot of there's been a tipping point going on in my head for a very long time, not a long time, but like in the past year or so, where there needs to be a next step of some sort. And I have plenty of experiences in the past where I know that it needs to not, there's certain shortcuts that cannot be taken, that it has to be done in a certain way. So we'll see where that goes. But I'm hoping my ramblings can help somebody today as well, to think about what they're what you're going through, or they're going through. And yeah, No, I'm just gonna kind of keep again. I'm just gonna keep it short today, and yeah, leave it at that. Again, I'm hoping all is well with everyone, and just keep up the good fight. And yeah, till next week, I'll talk to you then. And yeah, we'll see you. Bye. All right, YouTube. YouTube. Always got to do the audio first. So now I'll say goodbye to you guys. Anybody who's watching this, there's the camera. Is you know, if you want to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Please do. I really want to start. I'm hoping in the next month or so to continue to do this, but kind of bring up, like, as I'm mentioning, bringing up the quality of it, and start doing some different things with this. So yeah. So if you have any ideas, any questions, comments, whatever, please throw that in the comments, and let me know. But yeah, until next time, we'll see you.